So of all the interviews that we have seen of Kamala and all the answers that she has given and all the answers that she has not given to questions, there's one that is perhaps the most important of all. When we talk about change, when we don't talk about a new chapter in a country's history, you believe that the person who aspires to be the president of the United States either is going to continue the good things, or he or she is going to change the bad things, right? Things have gone wrong. And of course, there's no perfect presidential term. You can always improve. Maybe you can do things differently. And that is a question that we're going to hear the answer right now. What Kamala Harris says she would have done differently. What differentiates her from Joe Biden? And well, this was the question from Stephen Colbert.
You are a member of the President administration. Under a Harris administration, what would the major changes be, and what would stay the same?
It was very well put. It was what would be the changes, what would have you done differently, and what would stay the same. That is great. It's a very succinct question. I hate when these hosts maybe are gonna ask a question and they ramble like for 20 or 30 seconds. That is not the idea. What is Kamala's answer?
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm obviously not Joe Biden.
I know.
And so...
Yeah, that's pretty much obvious to anybody who with a pair of eyes.
That would be one change in terms of...
Yes.
But also, I think it's important to say with, 28 days to go, I'm not Donald Trump.
Okay, this is interesting, right? Why does she need to mention Donald Trump? Because Donald Trump was the one who was before Joe Biden, but it's like, all right, this is what I'm different about Donald Trump. But the question, that is not Stephen Colbert's question. His question is, in which ways are you different from Joe Biden? What would you have done different from this term? What would you do the same? That is the actual question. What kind of change are you bringing to the table? How are you going to change the conditions of the United States? Is everything is great, and we guess that you just continue the record of the most successful president in the history of the United States, Joe Biden, as everybody in the Democrat Party, including Kamala Harris, was saying just barely months ago? Or you're gonna change what he did, or you're gonna change whatever were his policies, even if you were part of his of that administration, right?
And so when we think about the significance of what this next generation of leadership looks like, were I to be elected president.
Word salad, she is not saying anything at all right now.
It is about, frankly, I love the American people.
All right, I love the American people. She already has gone off the rails. She is not going to answer the question.
And I believe in our country.
This is where I'm going to save you the next 3 or 4 minutes. She begins to talk about, the ambition of American people, how charismatic are American people. They are, of course, they are. And the opportunity economy and whatnot. But she never really answered the question if she would have done something different or what would have stayed the same. That is concerning. And the other concerning part was in the View when she actually maybe in Colbert, she tried to elude the question, to avoid answering the question, but in the View, she was very clear about this.
Well, if anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
she takes a bit of time to think, a couple seconds, because that is that should be a given question. Anybody would have if I was her advisor, that is one of the first things that I would have told her. Hey, this is how you're going to answer this question. It's important because many Democrats, and I'm not talking about the big fish, the higher ups, the ones that are commanding the party. I'm talking people that want to vote blue, that have voted Democrat all their lives, and they want to find a reason why to vote for Kamala Harris, who was literally just put in there without any reason whatsoever. So this is her answer.
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
She said two things. There are nothing that comes to mind that I would have changed. So she endorses whatever has happened during the Biden-Harris administration. And this is very important for all those suckers that keep saying that, oh, she was VP, she had no power. Joe Biden said twice that she was involved in all those decisions. And we thought in those instances that Joe Biden was trying to troll her and try to drag her into all the failures of the Biden administration and make sure that people knew that Kamala was part of those failures as well. But now she says it herself.
Been a part of
complete.
In terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
She has been part of most of the decisions that have had impact. What does it tell you? Maybe she was not part of some other decisions, but those other decisions did not have impact. They did not have impact, then those were not that important. But in the important decisions, she was involved. And she would not change anything about that. She said that herself. So that is my question for the people who want to vote for Kamala Harris. It is very easy because you are seeing yourself the outcome of these interviews. She is sinking herself through these interviews because she is not answering the most pressing questions, not only about the economy, but immigration, and she's avoiding all that. And she cannot even articulate what would she do differently than Joe Biden. And that is quite, I would say, sad, because you want to differentiate yourself. Even if you're a VP right now, you want people to be excited about what you're going to do, what you're going to change. Okay, then we have these challenges, we have these hurdles. We're going to take this further. But no, she has to mention Donald Trump. And when she mentions her policies, she doesn't mention them in a way that she can build upon what Joe Biden did. And we know why, because so many people did not agree with Joe Biden's policies, just because, well, results matter. If the results are not the ones that you expect, you really don't care about how were the policies. The results are the economy, crime, a rise in house prices, many other things, and Kamala doesn't have an answer to that. She's going to do the same. She's basically Joe Biden. She's going to be Joe Biden 2.0 with less ice cream, I guess. But I really would like to know, what do you think about this in the comments? Remember to download my 100 body language tips in the description of this video. You will be subscribed to my email list. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. Much love and bliss.